Hello makers, welcome to 3D Maker Noob. I'm Joe and I just got back from TCT, so I figured I'd share some highlights with you. Stick around. Welcome back makers. So yesterday I got back from TCT in Birmingham. Now for those of you who are unaware, TCT is one of the biggest 3D printing events of the year, and it happened at the NEC Centre in Birmingham in the UK. It basically gathers under one roof pretty much anything related to 3D printing. You have the big guys like 3D Systems and Stratasys, and you also have the little guys showcasing their new machines or new innovations they've come up with. So I decided to actually go there. Unfortunately, it was only for one full day that I had the chance to go there because I was limited with direct flights from Malta to Birmingham. However, in one day, I did manage to see quite a lot. I met a lot of awesome people, and I decided it's best for me to share with you guys what I found to be the highlights of my visit. First off, I've managed to finally get to meet my awesome buddy Ben from Hawk3D Proto. He had possibly one of the most awesome stands. Hawk3D Proto are a major distributor in UK for 3D printers and 3D printing filaments. Some of the brands they carry are Zortrax, Raise3D, ZYYX 3D printers, BCN3D, and many more. They also have a huge range of filaments. I will leave their link in the video description, so make sure you check them out. While I was there, I also had the pleasure of doing a meet and greet at the Hawk3D Proto stand from about 10 till 12, where I met some really amazing people. Now, at that stand, there was also Daniel Noré, who I finally got to meet. There was also Thomas Sanlanderer, I think I got it, from Tom's 3DP. He's absolutely an awesome dude. And I've also managed to meet up with Richard from Richrap and also James from Axe Robot, who does insane things with 3D printing and electronics. So first up, the top highlight of the TCT show was, of course, the Prusa i3 Mark III, which was obviously being showcased there at their Prusa research stand. Now obviously I had some time to catch up once again with Josip Prusa. I think I'm seeing a bit too much of him recently, but it was also an awesome time to get reacquainted once again with the Prusa i3 Mark III. Josef was very keen to showcase how the new Mark III works and all the new features that it comes with it. Now, I know this has been covered quite a lot, but just a bit of a rundown. The new Mark III has a new Y-frame with extruded aluminium. It also comes with a removable flexible steel plate, which is powder coated with PEI, which is absolutely awesome, and it's something that they had to invent because it still wasn't available. While this makes it extremely durable, it also means that if the nozzle hits the bed or scrapes the bed, nothing will happen to the surface due to the strength of the powder coating. He also showcased the power panic feature, which basically means that if the electricity goes off or you switch off the printer by mistake, what happens is that the electronics will leave enough energy within them to lift the nozzle and actually save the information to the printer. So once you switch it on again, the printer will simply home and resume the print where it left off. Following that, he also showed me the recovery of shifted layers function that it has by basically literally just jolting upwards the extruder, and the printer instantly stopped, homed, asked to resume, and it simply did so without any problems whatsoever. He then also showed me the runout filament sensor, where he pretty much literally just cut the filament through. Once the filament ran out through the sensor, it stopped the print, it moved to the side like it would usually do to change the filament, and simply retracted the filament. You put in new filament and it resumes the print as it was before. After he did all this, I waited maybe about 10 minutes and I went back to the print, and I kind of wanted to get a close-up of the print because I wanted to see what artifacts would be left on the print following 3 consecutive print stops. Lo and behold, the print looked absolutely glorious. It looked almost perfect. So yeah, I think they're on the right track and they definitely found the way forward for this printer. Next up was the BCN3D SigmaX. And no, it's not SigmaX. We made sure of that. It's SigmaX. And SigmaX because they have maximized the volume on the x-axis. It is now 420 millimeters on the x-axis by 290 millimeters on the y-axis and 210 millimeters on the z-axis, making it an absolutely incredibly large machine. It still carries its dual IDEX system for dual extrusion and also has several new features in their upcoming personalized Cura for Sigma, which can basically replicate models with 2 extruders, saving you a lot of time. It also has a mirror effect where you can print 2 objects in inverted format at the same time. So yeah, it looks like a hell of a machine, but I doubt I will be getting one of those in here. I think one is more than enough. Next up was E3D, and I had the pleasure of also doing a meet and greet for a couple of hours at the E3D stand and talk about a few upcoming things. One of those is their new water-cooled system, and it looks absolutely incredible. Now, you might ask yourself, why would I want a water-cooled hot end when you can simply work with a fan hot end? And that might be right. However, sometimes you might have a printer which is enclosed and you have materials which is very sensitive to drafts and cool air. So the fan of the hot end might actually affect the print. Now in this case, what you do is you simply cool the hot end through water and no draft whatsoever would be going inside the printer enclosure. Next up was something that unfortunately I couldn't get a lot of information out of from E3D, and that is they had a lot of sample prints done with PEEK. Now, for those of you who don't know, PEEK is an extremely strong material, and it prints at around 400 degrees Celsius. Now, while most printers cannot go that high, they have assured me that they're actually going to do something which would enable certain printers to go up to 400 degrees in order to print with PEEK filament. Now, I had the pleasure of trying to break something with this, with PEEK, but unfortunately I was not able to, so I'm definitely looking forward to that as well. They also had this awesome 3D printed lion. It was upscale to God knows how many hundreds of %, which was designed by Noob for E3D themselves, and they got some people to sign it. They asked Prusa to sign it, so instead he designed a Mike Tyson tattoo on the lion's eye. Next up was the Felix printer company from the Netherlands. Now, I've been speaking to Felix printers for quite some time now because I was supposed to review their Felix 3.1 printer. However, they had in the pipeline an upgrade, which is the Tech 4. Tech 4 was released at the TCT Show, and it looks like a really incredible machine with the possibility to upgrade to a dual nozzle system. It comes in a kit or pre-assembled, and hopefully within a couple of weeks I will be receiving the kit so I can do a live build together with you guys as we tend to do. I also had the pleasure of spending some quality time with the Duet guys to showcase the capabilities of the Duet Wi-Fi and any other features that it might incorporate. On the stand, they had a custom built 3D printer which had a massive print volume. What's very special about this printer is that it has 5 Titan extruders on it. It is a dual core XY, and the reason why it is a dual core XY is because it has kind of a Cyclops hot end which feeds the 5 extruders into it. That is situated on the lower core XY axis. On top of that, suspended on top of that, is another core XY which houses the extruders, so they move independently. That way you have the nozzle assembly, the hot end assembly, which doesn't carry all the weight of the 5 extruders. So it can move much faster than the extruders themselves, making it more reliable. Obviously, it has all kinds of color mixing functions, which makes it absolutely great. And it worked beautifully. It runs on a Duet Wi-Fi board with some extras so that they can incorporate the additional extruders. And yeah, the amount of features that Duet has is absolutely awesome, and I cannot wait to get mine up and running. They also had the Scar style printer which they incorporated the Duet Wi-Fi in, just to showcase how incredibly accurate the Duet is in calibrating the bed leveling function and the way it displays all the inaccuracies on a surface, which was absolutely mind-blowing. Finally, they also showed me this chip they are currently beta testing, which I get to have one and play with once I set up my Duet Wi-Fi. And this chip is like scroll wheel for the filament, which obviously can detect jams. Funnily enough, it can actually detect jams before they occur. The reason for that is when you have a jam, it kind of slows down the filament, and the board, the scroll wheel, will actually detect that slowness in flow, so it would instantly let you know that a jam is about to occur. Then I also had the chance to spend some quality time with the ZYYX guys from Sweden. They were showcasing the ZYYX Pro at the Hawk 3D Proto stand. It is an absolutely incredible machine which churns out nylon-based prints like butter. The quality of the prints is absolutely incredible. The machine is definitely aimed at engineers or architects or any students of university, because I can see that it's definitely focused on nylon-based filaments. It works beautifully, and the strength of the parts was insane. They had this test piece where they were asking people to literally jump on, and it just wouldn't break. So hopefully at some point we'll have a ZYYX Pro in this office right here, but yeah, it might be a while. A couple more interesting things that I saw was at the ColorFab stand, where they were showcasing their new Luxe range of 3D printing filament. It looks incredibly beautiful. At 200 micron layers, you can barely see the layer lines. It is extremely smooth and it blends the layers quite nicely. Unfortunately, they did not have any samples to give out because the filament comes out next month. It does come in a range of 4 colors, and it's definitely something I'll be purchasing once it is released. XYZ Printing was also there with their full color 3D printer. It is a beast of a machine. Upon close inspection, I have to say that the prints looked much better than I would expect them to be. It's definitely a brilliant idea, the way they incorporated ink into 3D printing. There was so much more to see, and unfortunately in one day I really couldn't get out of it everything that I wanted to. However, I got enough just to give you guys a taste. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to let some footage run and I'll let you guys enjoy it. And in the meantime, thank you very much for watching. Subscribe, comment, share, and as always, happy making, guys.